Few figures in American music history carry a presence as enduring or complex as Johnny Cash. Dressed in trademark black and possessing a gravelly bass baritone voice, Cash walked the line between outlaw rebellion and spiritual redemption. Over a career spanning nearly 5 decades, he transcended genre boundaries, spanning country, rockabilly, folk, and gospel, to become an iconic symbol of resilience, hardship, and the American working class. Hardship and the Cotton Fields, 1932 to 1954. Born J.R. Cash on February 26, 1932 in Kingsland, Arkansas, Cash grew up during the height of the Great Depression. In 1935, his family settled in Dyess, Arkansas, as part of a New Deal farming colony. From the age of 5, Cash worked alongside his family in the cotton fields, absorbing the traditional gospel songs, folk ballads, and working songs sung by his mother and fellow laborers. Tragedy struck early in Cash's life and left a lifelong scar. In 1944, his older brother Jack, whom Johnny revered, was killed in a devastating table saw accident. Jack's strong religious faith and tragic death deeply affected Cash, instilling in him a persistent sense of guilt and a lifelong spiritual searching that surfaced repeatedly in his songwriting. After graduating from high school, Cash enlisted in the United States Air Force in 1950. Stationed in Landsberg, West Germany, as a Morse code interceptor, he bought his first guitar and formed his first band, the Landsberg Barbarians. It was during his military service that he wrote the initial draft of what would become one of his signature tracks, Folsom Prison Blues. Sun Records and the Boom Chicka Boom sound, 1954 to 1960s. Upon his discharge in 1954, Cash settled in Memphis, Tennessee, marrying Vivian Liberto and selling door-to-door vacuum cleaners while trying to launch a music career. He teamed up with guitarist Luther Perkins and bassist Marshall Grant, known as the Tennessee Two, and auditioned for Sam Phillips at Sun Records. I Walk the Line became Cash's first #1 country hit in 1956, breaking into the Pop Top 20 and establishing his unique acoustic rhythms. Cash's signature sound featured a steady chugging rhythm dubbed the Boom Chicka Boom effect, achieved partly by slipping a dollar bill under the strings of his guitar to simulate a snare drum. Alongside contemporaries like Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins, Cash became an integral part of the early rockabilly and country music boom. Outlaw Years and the Prison albums. As Cash's popularity soared in the 1960s, so did the intensity of his personal struggles. Relentless touring fueled a heavy addiction to amphetamines and barbiturates, leading to canceled shows, erratic behavior, and high-profile arrests. Though he never served a lengthier prison sentence, his minor brushes with the law cultivated an outlaw image that resonated deeply with marginalized audiences. In 1968, Cash achieved a historic career breakthrough by recording live albums inside working penitentiaries at Folsom Prison, 1968, a groundbreaking album recorded in front of inmates capturing raw energy and empathy for the incarcerated. At San Quentin, 1969, spawned the massive hit A Boy Named Sue, solidifying Cash's status as a mainstream pop culture icon. During this tumultuous era, Cash found personal stability through his relationship with June Carter of the legendary Carter family. The two married in 1968, and Carter, along with Cash's renewed Christian faith, helped him overcome his severe drug dependencies. The American recording's renaissance and final years. By the late 1980s, mainstream country radio had drifted toward a polished sound, leaving Cash without a major label deal. However, in 1993, Cash teamed up with hip-hop and metal producer Rick Rubin for an unlikely collaboration on the American Recordings label. Stripped of complex production, Rubin recorded Cash sitting in his home living room with just an acoustic guitar. The resulting series of albums introduced Cash to a new generation of listeners. Acoustic storytelling, bare-bones renditions of Cash originals alongside covers of artists like Bob Dylan, Soundgarden, and Depeche Mode. Hurt, 2002. Cash's haunting cover of the Nine Inch Nails track, accompanied by a poignant music video depicting his aging physical frame and nostalgic history, became an acclaimed masterpiece. Death and enduring legacy. June Carter Cash passed away in May 2003, and Johnny Cash followed just 4 months later on September 12, 2003, at the age of 71 due to complications from diabetes. Johnny Cash left behind a legacy defined not by perfection, but by authenticity. By wearing black in solidarity with the poor, the imprisoned, and the forgotten, Cash crafted an archetype of the flawed mortal seeking redemption, making his music timelessly resonant across generations.